so it's not for kids.
We're back. We're back in business.
It's good to have you back, my guy.
Good to be back.
Into the rhythms that you're used to. You know?
Yeah. Thank you to all the excellent guest hosts, too. You did a great job. No notes. Don't come for my role, but it is excellent. So
I was going to ask you if you had any thoughts and opinions over the last 3 weeks, because I know you've been listening to the episodes since you're like...
And now that the baby is basically self-sufficient, because as we all know, like a month into the birth, baby needs no more attention. You can go back to podcasting.
Mm-hmm. At that point, they can start touching the iPad.
Exactly. you can leave them unsupervised.
They can hold it up above their body without dropping on their face too much.
No, but there were definitely moments where I was like, oh, that's good. Or like, oh, but there are also moments where I was like screaming at the audio. I'm like, no, that's not how you pronounce Chris Cheslick's name. Like,
the Cheslick part was like my favorite part because I knew as it was happening, I was like, Kenny is going to rip his freaking hair out. He's going to be bald, like coming back to the show, just because I can't pronounce the guy's name right. And I don't know exactly how he's related to Carl Chuddick.
Finding out Tom Brewster was super into Survivor was really cool too. And there was a lot of good moments. Taylor was like, hey, I'm sorry about all those scuff takes we had on Ark Nova. And I was like, oh, I kind of knew how you felt already. And we had talked about it. Honestly, I agreed with like 90% of Taylor's takes. I thought I was going to be going into more of a like hair pulling situation, but I think she did a good job of speaking to her thoughts about the different games. And a lot of them I already knew too. So the thing that I really wanted to talk more about is not to be going back to our usual, but like, the Northern Lion thing when he went on the Disney cruise.
First minute back, you're like Northern Lion reference. It's time to just talk about what that guy is doing.
No, but like, I get it. Because, No Nut November, move over. It's all about No Bit December now because I didn't have my usual outlet and it made me really appreciate doing the podcast. I was like, I can't just say this right now.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to laugh. There's no material. At least when I say it in the podcast, there's like a hope that there's somebody listening that laughs. So I was just like furiously writing down all these like really bad bits. And I have a huge list for you, Tom.
Oh, God.
That
okay.
I'm going to go through now. Okay, ready?
All right. Yeah, because this always like is really good when Northern Lion does it. So
yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm just going to keep going through it. You can laugh, but like no commentary, okay? Until the end.
Okay.
Guy who sings Nelly's Hot in Here in a sauna. Retro Studios design director. Great work. I can't wait to see the final version after they show them the completed Soul Valley desert area in Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 is Miles McKenzie, but voiced by Matthew McConaughey. Heist movie where the password to the safe is McConaughey, but nobody can spell it correctly. Pluribus Episode 1, but instead of the singularity, it's just me stuck at work in 2019 when Avengers Endgame has just come out over the weekend. Pluribus, but Carol complains about Alpha Gamer problem in Pandemic. Pluribus, but Carol complains about her Wendy's order. Pluribus, I was on a Pluribus kick here.
I was going to say, did you perhaps watch Pluribus during your break?
Maybe. Pluribus teachers conference meeting. Pluribus actors using Mr. Beast thumbnails as practice for smiling. Pluribus, but everyone is Mr. Beast. Okay, then I got off Pluribus. Rodney Smith video where he just tells you to shut up and get off your phone. Sperm whale in Zootopia 2 that wants to be referred to as something else. Brothers Murph, but they accidentally put the same brother twice in the thumbnail. Dad who thinks 6'7" is the sex number. Playing Seabat at my funeral. Freeman Freese accidentally calls game Final Fantasy, unaware of multi-billion-dollar IP. Amabel Holland game that secretly teaches you to tie your shoelaces. Parent named Wah who keeps thinking their baby is saying their first word. Is topical there. Weeb complains that Evangelion pretentious final episodes did the singularity way better than Pluribus. Okay, I'm back on Pluribus.
That's just a real Redditor. That's just like a real person.
This is my attempt at a joke. Are you a natural sequoia? No, look at my roots. Boyhood, but it's D&D character that you play throughout your real years.
Okay.
Jamiroquai's virtual insanity, but it's all the outtakes where he eats shit.
That would actually... Oh my God, if they have the footage for that, that would actually go so hard.
Like you still play the song in the bag, but it's just him falling over.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. Getting it out of my system.
I think my favorite is Seabat at the funeral, just like in Please Join Me for a few minutes of remembrance while we play one of his
what he would have
songs.
wanted.
Like the way that song like comes in with like the dramatic, like almost like you're getting set up to go to a lullaby or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's actually like such a funny song.
Welcome to Shelf Stable. We're back, baby. A podcast celebrating board games.
Did you say podcast like on purpose? Like, I'm wondering if I affected you. Okay.
No, this is me being rusty, okay? I got that Steve Brule flow.
It's like such a good like start. Oh yeah.
Welcome to Shelf Stable, podcast celebrating board games to the test of time. I'm your host, Kenny Katayama.
And I'm your other host, Tom Blowers. Today, our featured topic is the year in review 2025. What was it all about?
Yeah, we're skipping the games we play. We're skipping the 100 games. We're going right into it. If you were with us last year, you know the drill. Here we go. Best game of the year, Call of Duty, Black Ops 7. No, actually, what do we do? We're doing games we played first.
Yeah, the games we played in 2025. I have better stats this year than last year because I actually used the app BG Stats, hashtag not sponsored. And they have like some nice graphics and infographics, if you will.
Yeah, our only rules for this, we're going to do 3 each, alternating. The only rule is we had to have talked about it in the games we played segment, and then it has to be shelf stable, because I think there was the April Fool's episode. All right. So what was your first of your top 3?
So my top 3 personal picks, number 1, I'm going to give it to Samurai. I think this game basically changed my life this year.
I wrote down my predictions, and this was like an easy pick for you. You've talked about Samurai so much, and even outside of the cast, I think you always have this on you. You always want to play. You're always down. You're talking about how great it is. Mm-hmm. Would you say it's your favorite Knizia? I
think so, yeah, at the moment. Through the Desert could give it a run for its money, I'll admit. But I think even still, Samurai, the way in which the game unfolds is just so much more exciting. It feels like it always tells a story. I think that's what I like most about board games is that I can look at the map at the end of the game and see the history, almost like imagine a fictional narrative that explains the battles that occurred and where the tables turned and stuff like that. And this game always delivers that in a way where Through the Desert still feels even more abstract than Samurai does, even though they're both relatively abstract games.
Yeah.
And last week, Aza said that they really want a copy of Hey, That's My Fish that is ornate wooden tiles. That's what I want for Samurai. I'd actually love if it came in like a small bag or even a pouch, potentially, if there was a way to structure it like that so that it was even easier to carry around and force people to play with me. But something like that would be really cool.
Well, that's a great transition because in no particular order, the first game that I have is Hey, That's My Fish.
Oh, is this your favorite Knizia game? Sorry.
It's up there.
Do you feel like we're doing the actual designers a disservice by
probably
comparing it? I mean, it's kind of unfair, I'll admit.
I think it has that feel. I think it's a fair analogy. And I was really happy the two of you talked about it last week because, this game continues to deliver. I think it's the game that has had the highest hit rate with people who play it of like, oh, wow, I got to play this more. I got to get my own copy and things like that. I didn't think much of it seeing it. I mostly just played it to humor somebody in the group, but then it ended up being like, oh, wow, I got to play this more myself. So it's kind of just one of those games that takes you by surprise and continues to deliver after that initial subversion. Very delightful, simple rule set, super thinky, quick brain burning, abstract game. Hey, that's my fish.
Yeah, I actually bought a copy in a backward sort way. There was a listing on eBay for like 4 games that the sum total I thought was like cheaper than the asking price was cheaper than the sum total of the games were worth. But one of them was, hey, that's my fish. I was like, well, that's the one I want. And I'll just slough off the other 3, which I do think they have the potential, but I did the thing, right? I call it the eBay gamble.
Yes, that's gone well for you in the past.
Honestly, so far I'm break even, which basically means I'm down. As we learned last week.
All right, what do you got next?
All right, number 2 is also probably one of the most obvious games of all time that I could possibly name as far as my favorite for the year, and that's Brass. I find it really funny that right at the outset of this podcast, I said Brass seems like one of those games that I could really find myself enjoying more of. My ambitious desire to play it 100 times was not met, but it is easily one of the best games of all time, just in even one of my personal favorites. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm kind of surprised you put this on just because you put it last year, but I guess we don't have a rule against repeats.
It's funny because I feel last year it was like undercooked even at that point. Like I was eating it raw dough style and I was like, this is delicious. Well, you didn't
have a goal of playing it 100 times yet. So maybe that spurred you to play it a ton more. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're enjoying it still after having played it so much that it hasn't gone the route of Scout.
Yeah, the irony is that it's not one of the top 5 most played this year. I've apparently only logged 6 games of Brass Lancashire specifically. I'm pretty sure I logged like at least 4 games of Birmingham and 2 games of the original, or at least 1 game of the original. So I'm like hovering around 12 in reality, because I think I played Birmingham slightly more than I did.
It's funny that you're like less than half of your modified goal.
Yeah. Really didn't make it on the bingo, but you know what I mean? The point is that we shot for the stars and we landed on the moon or whatever.
We'll follow up on the bingo, by the way. We're going to do resolutions in the new year. Resolutions and also the pantry. I didn't have this on here just because I thought you'd want to do 3 different games, but that was me thinking that you would go back and re-listen to what you picked last year, which I think is a tall order. So
I was given no instructions, so
there was no rule against it. So if you want to,
honestly, I don't know that I could have anything else on here that is both shelf stable and a true certified like top 2.
Since we're talking about trains and money and industrialism, I will jump to talking about listening to last year's version. It was really funny hearing me be like, yeah, Cube Rails really took me by surprise. I don't think I'm quite ready to be doing 18xx yet, but I'm curious and one day I might try it. Flash forward 365 days and I'm just like, my brain is cooked. I'm only doing 18xx games. I'm sleeping with a body pillow that has a train printed on it. Like, it's like insane the difference that a year can make. So I'm still enjoying the Cube Rails, but 18xx really blew me away. And for this particular pick, I picked Shikoku 1889. I think of the games we played, it's the one I enjoyed the most. I think it's the most accessible one too. This also kind of ties in as like, I'll check out 18xx. This is probably the one I want to point people toward. 1889, kind of a stand-in. 1880 was also very good. 1880 China. These games, they're long, they're heady, they're mean, but they have such a good arc and they just continuously give you those pings of dopamine that are just like, the rail laying and figuring out how to optimize your routes combined with the speculation and stock manipulation. It's just so fun. And I can't wait to play more. I'll try not to like completely alienate our audience of non-train enjoyers by constantly talking about them, but just know that I'm playing them in the background. So yeah, Shikoku 1889. You have yet to play an 18xx. Maybe that's a goal for the new year.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Also putting it on my New Year's resolution to get a train engine Dakimakura so we can match during the shelf stable sleepover we have planned.
Exactly. All right. And what's your third and final, Tom?
This is going to be a very out-of-pocket one because my original pick actually got disqualified, apparently. So instead of what I originally might have gone with, I'm going to pick Twilight Struggle. This is probably a huge upset for you, but I have reasons.
Yeah, a bit of a recency bias.
Well, to a degree. We had a session where we had 2 games of Twilight Struggle going at the same time. I thought it was just very funny that is how we just set out to do that, so that there was like a experienced player on either side of a board of Twilight Struggle to help the inexperienced player make decisions based on cards in their hand and stuff like that, right? That was the concept. It's like a crisscross seating arrangement. And ever since that day, it's been sitting in the back of my mind like, God, I want to get back to that. And then, of course, Ian, shout out Ian, who's like, I don't know where exactly he ranks online. His ELO, I think, has a bit of clout to it. I don't know his exact number, though. And I still have not beat him ever in an online game of fucking Twilight Struggle.
You play like 20 games online.
Yes, yeah, to clarify. Out of like 20 games, 0 wins. So that's going to be like my resolution, perhaps, for next year. We're going to put that on the bingo card, is like clear Ian in a game of TS.
Yeah, good luck. That's going to be harder than 100 games of brass, but that's just my take.
Probably. One can hope, one can dream. I like to dream.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad you're continuing to enjoy this. You've sung high praises about the rule book, but yeah, we talk a little less about the game, and I do think it is a great game.
Yeah, I'll try not to necessarily like bleed it into every episode of the show necessarily, but you will hear about it if I do actually get that dub. So
nice. All right, Tom, my final pick is none other than the game that I did the most poorly at for a while, Seas of Strife.
Oh, yes.
I have been somewhat obsessed with Seas of Strife. It's very rare for me to want to keep continuously playing a game. I'm notoriously jumping from one thing to another, but Seas of Strife was one that I kept demanding, kept requesting. And every time we played it, it delivered. It's just one of those games where everybody kind of cackles, almost mean-spirited every time. Yeah, like, but it's a trick taker that is just has so many options, is so versatile that you can really hit people with stuff, and it feels so good when it happens. It feels good when you do it to others, and it also surprisingly feels good when it happens to you. At least it did with our group. Just being the laughingstock in this game is almost as much fun as like bullying others. There's something really fascinating about how this game creates scenarios that are both safe and also hilarious. There was definitely some trick-taking fatigue in my camp, but Seas of Strife like reinvigorated my joys in trick-taking. I was like, okay, this is good. This is the kind of trick-taking I'm looking for right now. So Seas of Strife.
You know, it's funny, if I'd actually gotten this to table more than the apparently one time I actually have played this, I could see myself pick this as well. It's been on my mind very like effectively for only having played it that single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more or less with you is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Seas of Strife. Good game.
Underglazed trick-taking gem.
We ready? Our one disappointment of the year.
So you wrote this as a disappointment. I wrote it as like my stinker, but I'll let you go.
Yeah, disappointment, stinker, either way.
Okay.
I picked Carcassonne the Castle.
Okay.
Nobody here would be surprised to know that I like the good doctor, Dr. Knizia. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I enjoy a game of Carcassonne here and there. So I was very excited to hear that Knizia had a version of Carcassonne that he designed that was 2-player specific. And I wanted to see what interesting routes he took with this. And it was fine. It's not a bad game by any means, but I just didn't find myself really enjoying it. It doesn't seem like you enjoyed it either. Like, it was just very mid. I think it's like the definition of mid. I do think the one thing that was really interesting that I almost want to see in other Carcassones was how if you hit a certain score on the score track, you get a little bonus if you like don't pass it. I feel like that made a lot of the thinkiness more interesting in terms of how you place things on the board and when to pull your meeple. But yeah, the other aspects, they just felt like different riffs on existing things in Carcassonne. And I was like, I didn't feel like the 2-player really affected it. I didn't feel like the contained board affected things. So Carcassonne the Castle.
Yeah, I thought the texture of the score tile bonuses was interesting, but ultimately very swingy, not super exciting per se. It's almost like what it needs is like the Chuddick touch in a weird way, where if it's like gonna be swingy, I wish the effects were flashier, more dramatic somehow. Most of the time it was basically like +5 points.
Yeah, it was
or
just a few more
conditional
points.
double point.
You got rid of this, right?
I think so. I actually can't remember if I actually sold this already or if it is sitting in a pile of games waiting to be sold. But my pick, and this would be no surprise for people who have like perfect memory and know every single thing that we've talked about, would be side effects. I don't know if you remember me talking about this one.
Yeah. We had a lot of things to say.
Yeah, the funny thing about this game is that like it wasn't really like a disappointment or something I was looking forward to playing. But I did find the actual gameplay, like I was just surprised basically that it's in print. It felt like there was something sort of under the surface, like that could have become a fun game. And I think the aesthetic is its selling point, probably more than anything else. But actually experiencing it was so hollow. I mean, people are literally comparing it to Tic-Tac-Toe on Board Game Geek, and that's about right.
Yeah, it seemed like it was exhausting to play this game.
I suppose there's probably games out there that I could like complain about more in a more hilarious way, but Side Effects is basically going to be like my worst game I experienced this year, which is kind of saying something because you'd think I would have ended up in something even worse.
I thought you were going to pick Millennium Blades here.
Oh, that's a contender, but I mean, like Side Effects was definitely worse. Millennium Blades is bad, though. I'm just gonna come right out and say it.
Yeah. Unexpected Delight. What was a game that you thought was like, oh, I don't know what this is, or hey, I don't think I'm gonna like this, and then you were like, holy moly.
When we sat down to play Cthulhu Death May Die, I thought I knew what I was in for, and I was more or less kind of rolling my eyes like, all right, let's do this. And then something sort of awoke or perhaps re-awoke in me after we actually played it, which is, yes, it's a huge pain in the ass to set up. Yes, there's like so much rules knowledge that I don't personally want to be the bearer of. But when someone else is basically being the DM and I just get to play the game, these dungeon crawling types of games are very fun, I think. It almost like reactivated something I'd forgot, which is that like Imperial Assault, I haven't played Descent, but I could imagine it's similarly enjoyable. And maybe Death May Die is like, you know, a diamond in comparison to the rest of these. But I think between this and Aeon's End, there is just this like general insight I had of like, I actually like this game style where I'm represented as a player character that's got some sort of life total, and I'm fulfilling a role in a kind of party that needs my assistance in this particular way in order to overcome a bunch of big bads. I think I just need to play fucking D&D. Oh, God.
Or maybe Gloomhaven. Maybe you can finally play Gloomhaven, Tom.
Yeah, you got me. We'll add that in for the resolutions next year is play Gloomhaven some number of times, maybe 100 times.
It's always so ambitious.
I really should, though. That's, you know, maybe Jaws of the Lion. Maybe that's something I could handle.
Well, just play the online Gloomhaven. You already have it. Jaws is the same as Gloomhaven, so you know. But
it's like a shorter story-driven campaign, right?
If you just play the same amount of Gloomhaven as you do the whole Jaws campaign, I mean, that would already be a lot. I don't know why you having to complete it is like part of it. Like that's not. I don't understand
I like
that.
when things have like finality that I can like measure.
I think even Jaws is pretty long. I think you need to come to terms with the fact that you're probably not going to finish it and go into it knowing that.
All right.
This is why you don't want to start it, because you're like, oh, I got to finish it.
Yeah, at least a little bit. But I think I can talk myself into accepting.
I'm just telling you, you're not going to finish everything in life before you die. So you gotta come to terms with that at some point, Tom, and kind of just enjoy the experience.
I'm different somehow.
built for tough.
Yeah.
I agree with this Cthulhu Death May Die. I had a similar vibe. I knew what I was getting into. I thought it would be fun, but then I was like pretty surprised at how much fun I was having. So kudos to our DM to a certain extent. I know there's not really a DM, but they managed the rules, grid, and everything, and didn't play themselves. Yeah. So I think it's a game that focuses on what is fun in games versus having these intricate systems or demonstrate. Like it is really a game about like, how can we create the most enjoyment for the person that's playing? And that was a breath of fresh air to a certain extent.
It's kind of doing that thing that we talked about where it's creating intrinsic comedy and it's not aping on existing tropes too much. I mean, I'm sure there was a little bit of it there, but you didn't have to read a card and seeing its flavor text, he's right behind me, isn't he? Or anything like that. It just was like, you found a lion. He's your friend. Yeah. And you're like, that's fucking hilarious, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it had that intrinsic comedy. I agree. For me, my unexpected delight was Ginkgopolis. So Ginkgopolis is a game that you and I played a ways back, and I actually cut it short because I was like, whatever. Not seeing... Or it was more pretentious that I was like, I'm seeing what this game does, and it's not enough for me. It does not appeal to me. And I think it goes back to me checking myself and kind of understanding where my weaknesses are, where my limitations. And I think I was too quick to judge this game. Having played it multiple times this year, I really enjoy it. I think that the things that it does that are weird and alien-like are purposeful, whereas the first time I played, they felt arbitrary. And it's starting to feel more like a Chuddick than it does just like a bunch of random stuff to be cool. That's one point for it. The other thing is like, I really like how focused it is in terms of its gameplay and what it's trying to do. It's not one of those games that you play and you're like, oh, it has this over here and it has that other thing happening. You know, it's not a kitchen sink. It's a very, very concise system. And one that has quite a bit of interaction is, pretty cutthroat sometimes. I just really like this like tile drafting, whatever the heck this is, very strange game that is Ginkgopolis.
Yeah, I find this fascinating because I haven't actually picked it back up since the session we had where you just decided, I don't want to play with you anymore. Like that Woody, that nightmare from Toy Story that Woody has, or Andy drops him. Like that's what you did to this game. I would like to play this one again. I'm wondering how much my need for city building is contained inside of that box.
I don't really think it has the feeling of a city builder. Like, sure, you're building a city and it even has some 3D-ness to it. It doesn't feel like a city. It feels like a bunch of tiles stacked, but I don't know. I could be wrong. You could have a different effect. I do remember you liking it more than I did when I was like, I don't want to play you anymore. Like, you were like, let's just finish the game, you know? So maybe you'll enjoy it more. Like, maybe it'll be a 180. I don't know.
Right. It'd be funny if, like, as soon as you and I play it again, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's such a strange feeling. And it's like, what's the common thread here?
Oh, yeah, that was Ginkgopolis. Our last category for games of this year, the game we got rid of. And it doesn't have to be a game that we played this year. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's just a game that we ousted of our collection, and why.
Yeah, so earlier you mentioned The Castle. I think I did get rid of Carcassonne The Castle, but that's actually not the game that I thought to highlight for this section. I'm also getting rid of Sheriff of Nottingham.
I'm surprised you still have it.
Here's the concise reason why. Too much game for too little strategy. This game is literally just win-lose banana with like 800 pounds of setup tacked on.
I think especially when you have games like Skull or like Soda Smugglers, those games are this game, but more concise and I would even say more fun.
I don't own Soda Smugglers, but that would be like a perfect replacement. But yeah, like Skull, almost anything kind of just like replaces what Sheriff of Nottingham is doing. The only upside really to Sheriff of Nottingham is if you're like someone that really cares about specific components. The little velvet pouches with the clasps are nice, admittedly, but I just don't find myself like giving enough of a shit to actually shuffle up this deck, deal out the player cards, which I don't think have asymmetric powers or anything. It's such a big box, so much game. You can get 90% of the same experience from, I mean, you said it perfectly, Soda Smugglers, for example. Save yourself the headache of having to whip this one out and take up the whole table. So yeah, that's why it's out skis.
I got rid of Blood Bowl Team Manager. I've definitely spoken the praises of Blood Bowl Team Manager in the past. I got to replay it this year, and it was still fun, but it was obscenely long with 4 players. And I do think it's more fun with more people. I feel like it's a little awkward at 2. So it's kind of in this weird space where just like, I don't see myself warranting this. It also felt way more like Smash Up than it has felt in the past. In the past, I've touted this as being like Smash Up Plus, and it just felt a little too Smash Up-y. It's funny because last year the game I got rid of was Omen, A Reign of War, and that is also a sort of pick a lane, contribute values to it sort of game where things have abilities. I also got rid of like Baseball Highlights, which kind of has a similar vibe. I feel like there's a running theme of me thinking I'm going to like, but then not really gelling with as much games where you contribute a bunch of strength values to different things. With one of the exceptions being Shotten. I think Shotten is more interesting because you're forming specific hands. You're forming poker hands. But all these other ones, I'm just like finding myself either having liked them and not liking them as much, or just generally bouncing off of them, even though I think I would like them. It's kind of a shame. Like, I want to enjoy these games, but they're in a weird space where they're not quite Magic the Gathering. They're also not quite a board game. And I'm just finding myself wishing I was doing either of those two things instead of this. By no means a bad game, but yeah, Blood Bowl Team Manager ended up putting in the swap. It like sold right away because, I mean, that's a pretty sought after game.
Yeah, it's cool to have what is functionally a sought-after relic in your collection. And I'm sure the clout probably made you hold on to this longer than you should have. But I totally understand the feeling you're going for, where it's like there just really is, unfortunately, perhaps no substitute for Magic the Gathering. I'm just going to have to cube draft it up with people who know how the cube works, you know?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. All right, Tom, we're going to pivot. We're going from what happened this year to
pivot.
What happened exactly 5 years ago. As you know, on Shelf Stable, we talk about a lot of old games, but our cutoff point is 5 years ago. We were able to talk about games up until 2020, so I figured as we're introducing 2021 to our repertoire, maybe it's a last hurrah to look at what came out in 2020 and maybe things that we didn't expect to show up, or things that were like, oh yeah, that did stay the test of time. 2020, obviously, we started seeing the effects of COVID on the industry, both from a gameplay perspective with a lot of people playing at home, but also a production perspective. It was a lot harder to get games out of the door because things got blocked up. So, Tom, was there anything that you observed about the list of games that were published in 2020 that kind of stood out to you?
I'm looking at the list of games that managed to come out in 2020, and immediately I'm struck by one in particular that I don't know how I failed to talk about it at all over the last year. Maybe I did, and it's been so long, I don't remember. But Lost Ruins of Arnak, easily one of the most 2020 games of all time. I like that one quite a bit. I know it's basically just resourceshuffling.com at the end of the day, but the worker placement combined with the hand management, combined with honestly the clickety-clacketyness of the resources themselves, like there's a lot of delightful little things going on, and I enjoy the puzzle of it as a solo experience, as a multiplayer solo experience. It's just good fun if you're into resource puzzles, and it's evocative, thematic. You know, you can pick up a whip, you can buy a gun. It's awesome.
Yeah, I had Arnak here as well. I said this was kind of the year of worker placement / deck builder hybrids, because Dune Imperium also came out this year. And that was a big thing. People were saying, Arnak's better. No, Dune Imperium is better. Oh no, Team Jacob, Team Edward. And it's like, come on, y'all. We can play both. It's fine. Or neither.
We need like a shirt or something that says like, everyone be like, Arnak this, Dune Imperium that. And I'm just here like, anyone want to play Samurai by Reiner Knizia?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a cringe shirt at all. I definitely think I like Dune Imperium more, but I think they're both good games. This was also a big year for Lacerda. Both Kanban EV and On Mars came out this year, and they were both pretty big hits in his catalog. I wouldn't be surprised if they're his biggest games.
They're both in the top 100, which is like kind of nuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know where Lisboa lands in this too, but yeah, that was kind of like the big Lacerda moment. So 2020, the year of Lacerda.
Yeah, it's definitely a good year to be Lacerda. I haven't played either of these, and I find myself enjoying Lacerda games. I think I brought this up when we were talking to Taylor. Kanban EV is kind of going straight to the top of my like what I got to get done next year.
Okay, you got a lot of games that you got to play next year, Tom.
I gotta play.
You writing
Twilight
them anywhere?
Struggle 100 times. What was the other one we talked about?
Gloomhaven.
I gotta play Gloomhaven 100 times and Kanban EV 100 times.
You play Seas of Strife some more. You're gonna play an 18XX
100 times.
18XX 100 times.
Yeah. Another one on the list from 2020 that I'm actually most curious to experience is Red Cathedral. I don't honestly know that much about it, but something about it is very much speaking to me.
Yeah, it's a lot like White Castle. So if you like White Castle, then...
No, you're almost doing a disservice.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm curious. Maybe I might like it more. I might like it less than White Castle. I was whelmed by White Castle. I'll say that.
Okay. 2020 is also the year that Calico came out, which is notable as being the start of the thinky but allegedly cozy trilogy. So it was like Calico and then Cascadia and then Verdant. Verdant, as we all know, is kind of ass. But yeah, Calico and Cascadia have stood the test of time, I would say.
No, Calico's kind of ass.
You think that? I'm just saying, like, in general, like, people like Calico.
Oh.
I think Calico hurts my brain.
You know what's funny is that out of all three of these, I haven't played Cascadia, and it's the one I hear the best things about.
I think it's the one I like the most out of the three.
All right, I'm adding it to the list of games that I'll play 100 times next year.
You got to prioritize this list because you're not going to do all of them. It's the same thing again, Tom. Like, you're going to die one day. Like, try to enjoy the things. Don't make it a goal to finish the things because then you just burn out.
It's not fun unless I've played it 100 times. That's something I've learned this year. No. I do plan on playing these just like at least once, and I'm planning to go to SaltCon next year, so I think I'll just
you do a bunch there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Games that I consider shelf stable because not only do people still talk about them, but there were even expansions, versions that are spin-offs or like sequels. Beyond the Sun, Search for Planet X. There's like 3 different Search for games now. Dwellings of Eldervale. Micro Macro spawned like a bunch of stuff and won the spiel.
I almost see that one as a flash in the pan. I get that it could have staying power, but I feel almost like it was like Wordle.
You think Micro Macro's dropping off?
Yeah, like everyone went nuts for it when it came out, and now there's just like a small contingency of diehards that are like buying the new prints. Honestly, I don't know if they're targeting like a market like this, but they, to me, belong on the shelves with like the Sudoku puzzles.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know that they're ending up there.
I do think they are sticking around, though. I mean, they've continued to do really well.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just think that they are more of a fad.
I think Micro Macro is more likely to stick around than like Dwellings of Eldervale. Dang, I really struggle with that one.
God. Yeah,
Dwellings
especially
of
if you can't Google
Eldervale.
it because you don't know what it's called.
And what's the new one? Andromeda's Edge. Like, I think those games are probably solid. I haven't played them, but like, I don't know that people are gonna. They give me heavy Kickstarter vibes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The one that absolutely stuck around, but might not just out of issues with production, is Marvel United. A huge explosion, and they're still loyal fans, but CMON is going under, so I don't know what's going to happen with Marvel United here. I doubt that they're going to stop doing it, but
I think one of the other problems that Marvel United has is that, as far as I understand, it's been completely usurped by Crisis Protocol in a lot of ways.
What are you on and what are you on about right now?
Completely different games, but
Tom,
people
you know
who
how
need, like the fix.
You know how
for
I've said sometimes you have like really bad takes.
I'm just saying, like there are people out there for whom like all they need is the miniatures in order to paint them, right? Like that's what it's about.
I don't think 90% of people who buy Marvel United paint their miniatures, and I don't think they're getting them for the minis.
Yeah, the board game geek images beg to differ, based on just my experience talking to Marvel United heads.
I don't think there's very much an overlap between the Marvel United fans and the Crisis Protocol fans. I think they're very different audiences. One is a miniatures audience. The other one is families / casual
gamers. It'd be so good if like they all came into our comments and they're like raging. Like they're like the only reason I play Crisis Protocol is because United
listeners, you tell us who has the absolutely scuffed take right now. I'm really curious. I wonder, it could be either of us. 50-50 coin flip here.
I'm going to go back to like almost what I said about Sheriff of Nottingham with Marvel
crazy
United,
that you can...
It's too much
pause.
Game for too little strategy.
Pause. I don't want to hear your take on Marvel United. It's crazy to me that I call you out for having like an absolutely scuffed take, and your immediate reaction is to go on the defensive and back it up instead of being like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just like,
Kenny, I'm always saying this: discard nuance for content. Okay.
If you're okay with always being the butt of the joke, but like this is like I was giving you an out, you could just be like, no, you're right, I don't know what I'm talking about here. But who knows?
The angrier the fans get, the more likely they are to sub on Patreon just so they can yell at us in Discord, and that's what I'm after.
It's only $1 to yell at him. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it for 1 month. I guess you're bringing in the big bucks for us, Tom. I shouldn't be so mad.
Yeah, I'm the cash cow of this show. I'm the money maker, the breadwinner. I'm shelf stable. It's all me.
You think? Were there any that you think like fell off or that you didn't even know existed? Tekhenu was like, I had to go back and look at what this was even. This is another one of the T-series games, kind of like Teotihuacan and Zolkin and all that, like the games that Daniel Tashini designs. Tekhenu was like super hype when it came out, and a lot of people were super into it. I forgot it existed. And I feel like that's the case with a lot of these T games. I was looking at the other ones on the list. I'm like, other than Teotihuacan and Zolkin, these like I know the year they come out and then they like erase themselves from my memory. I'm very surprised if there are still people who are like, oh yeah, Tekhenu, I love that game. Play it every week.
It's great that someone like compiled this list. It's like all the top 10 lists of a bunch of creators, and it's fascinating seeing what's on those lists. When I'm like, ain't no fucking way they're still playing some of these 5 years later. Tekhenu, I mean, like that's a good example because I literally never hear about that game, even though it like made it on so many people's lists that it's ranked like number 2. But then Lost Ruins of Arnak at the same time is like similarly high ranked, and you know that one's still kind of getting a lot of glazing. Jaws of the Lion as well. There are some shooters out there for Garfield Games or whatever it's called. For Garfield Games.
Garfield Games, yeah.
Viscounts of the West Kingdom. I'll be a little surprised if it manages to
at the
hold
same
up.
time, though, I think even at the time, people were saying like, I enjoyed this, but it's not as good as some of the other ones. So like that one, I'm a little more on board with.
Yeah, but still to have put it in as many top 10 lists as it got.
That's fair. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Reiner Knizia's My City, unfortunately, I think is going to... I could see it going almost either way, but my prediction, I suppose, because you got to discard the nuance, is that it is going to go down the shitter in history.
I can see that. I mean, for starters, it's a legacy game, and it hasn't gotten the hype of like Gloomhaven. So I think legacy games, even if they're replayable, oftentimes people get a little burnt out on them.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if at the same time there aren't like forums basically cropping up in the years to come that are like, okay, Knizia was low-key cooking with this, a legacy game that sucks ass and no one's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like somehow people are going to start to like...
you know, I think the people who like it, so... Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like they're going to be talking about it as if it's like completely, you know, under-repped.
A legacy game that sucked ass is low-key cooking. I love that that's the way they write it.
Yeah, they're gonna say something like that and be like, he predicted Ticket to Ride Legacy with this one, like something like that. Like I don't know.
There's so much shade being thrown right now.
I have like nothing to speak on because I actually picked up a copy of My City hoping to actually get into it, and I still haven't assembled like the group. I need the My City Avengers.
I played it on BGA. I played like a number of games, and then I was like, I'm just gonna crack open and see what's in the continue, and I was like, I snooze. I thought it was fine. It didn't feel like a Knizia game, that's for sure. It wasn't Knizia like. Forgotten Waters. Do you remember this game? You hear about this game?
I don't.
This is like another Crossroads game, kind of like Dead of Winter.
I forgot about it.
You forgot about the waters. Yeah, I forgot about this one too. I did see a group play this at the game store recently, and it was really annoying because there's like it good like plays through the iPad, like blast dialogue on the iPad. But I don't know. I mean,
what, though, I'll say it's mildly impressive that a game with fucking app support is still getting played 5 years later when you know that the dev team doesn't exist.
I mean,
for that
well,
app
like Planet
anymore.
Planet X is great. Chronicles of Crime is great. So I mean, you know, app games they stand the test of time. You know what's funny though? Here's my little comedy bit. People talking loud. Well, I talk loud, but like people talking loud at a restaurant, I have no problem with. Somebody listening to TikToks while they're waiting for their food to come without headphones on drives me nuts.
What do you think that is? You know?
Yeah, I don't
wonder
know.
if there's like.
Maybe it's because we're conditioned to tune people out, but like the tinniness of a phone, we're not conditioned to. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like people are super loud at game night, but for some reason, the Forgotten Waters app was bothering me.
I can believe that. Eric Summers' voice, like, I probably wasn't him, but that's like the idea of you're like trying to have a good time, just like every night, and you're like, like.
Werewolves, open your eyes.
Yeah.
Santa Monica came out in 2020. That sounds wrong. I feel like that game's older.
Well, it's a good one. I like that one. I'd like to play that again, actually.
I know you like it. I own it because my partner likes it. I think it's fine. It doesn't stand out in the sea of like games where you get a bunch of points for putting stuff together. The Feldian school.
I think honestly, the pastel color palette is honestly what.
Oh yeah, the art is for sure the draw. Bonfire. Speaking of Feld, have you even heard of this one?
Not really.
I've only heard the name, and I'm just like, and then it's like, oh, Stefan Feld, I snooze, you know.
Jeez.
Man, we're being mean in this section, huh?
I guess so.
All right, and then we have our annual what the hell is this Awakened Realms game? Ether Fields. Ether Fields came out in 2020, and nobody talks about it, just like they don't talk about Tainted Grail, just like they're not going to talk about their next Awakened Realms release that's coming out this year. Stop buying Awakened Realms products, please. It's not that hard.
Do you wonder if, like, you know, we're the weirdos? Like,
for sure.
The board game community out there is like, they are playing all these. I'm going to take a survey. I'm going to do a field survey at SaltCon and see what's happening. Because
nobody's playing Ether Fields.
That's true.
I can say, I would be willing to bet money that nobody's playing Ether Fields nowadays.
Okay, I'm going to do the field survey at the next con I go to, and I'm going to see if I can find even one person playing Aether Fields unprompted.
You're going to hear, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to explain it to them and be like, oh, that's right, I backed that. It's sitting in my garage somewhere.
No doubt.
Don't buy Awakened Realms. They don't want to pay artists. They make a big box full of plastic with bad design. It's like, just stop doing it, please.
Yeah, here's our hot take. It's slop. It's literally slop. If you're a slop hater, you gotta cancel your backer pledge.
Okay.
It's time to go outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going crazy now. We're outside of the world of board games. Whoa, Tom, it looks so different over here. We're going to talk about video games. What's your pick for favorite video game of 2020?
You're going to hate me, but I technically have two, but it's more like this. Honorable mention, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing New Horizons was like the first thing that came to my mind when you were like best video game 2020. But Hades is really fucking good. Yeah. I like that game a lot.
I figured you would pick Hades. I had a really hard time with this. I didn't really play a lot of games in 2020, like video games. I was mostly board gaming. If I'm going to be really honest, like I just played a lot of Minecraft and a lot of Overwatch. So, but that doesn't count, right? Because they didn't come out in 2020. Like that's what I would have picked.
Well, I'd say it could kind of go either way because pretty much the rest of these sections that we're going to talk about, it's like I didn't fuck with what came out, but I watched things. I read things, you know?
Well, I think we're talking about things that came out that year, though, regardless of when you consumed them. I mean, I played Half-Life Alyx. I liked it quite a bit. I don't know if that categorizes it as my favorite game that came out in 2020. I played Valorant, but I didn't like it. So I don't know. I feel it's weird. It's just a weird year for me for video games. So I'm just going to say skip. Music. For music, I picked Jessie Ware's What's Your Pleasure? Just really good, solid, vibes-based pop album. Super sensual. I mean, it's not really a hot take. It is a pretty well-regarded album. Maybe I'm like overcompensating for always putting like really grating, obnoxious music on my top list or something. But I'm going in a completely different direction here. Yeah, Jessie Ware's What's Your Pleasure? Really enjoyed it.
Color Theory by Soccer Mommy. Banger album. I still really like Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Fetch the Bolt Cutters is really good. I'm not even like necessarily like the biggest Fiona Apple head. I feel like if I act as if I'm like a really big Fiona Apple fan, people are going to treat me a certain way. And I don't know what exactly I'm expecting, but
all the doctors are going to come running at you and you're like, you're keeping us away.
Yeah.
Because of Fiona Apple a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Movies.
Not an ideal year. There are some like bangers according to this Rotten Tomatoes list.
I watched Nomadland. It was okay. I wasn't blown away. I actually picked Palm Springs. the Andy Samberg Groundhog Day movie. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
you know?
I know the premise.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed things.
I think it just speaks to how mid 2020 was for movies, but yeah, that was the movie I enjoyed the most from the ones I could find.
There's a handful of movies that I'd actually really like to watch. Minari Wolfwalkers in particular stands out. That's the Celtic studio that did Secret of Kells. I've seen that movie, but that movie looks really cool. And the movie that has stuck with me the most from that year that I watched that year was Moonlight. Really like that movie.
Okay. I'll have to watch it.
It was also the year that I finally got around to seeing Tokyo Godfathers, which up until that point was the only Satoshi Kon film I had not seen, which is another interesting coincidence since we just talked about it last week.
That's right, yeah.
Great movie.
TV.
Yeah, if there was one TV show that I could pick from 2020 that may or may not have aired on TV in 2020, it would be whatever season of Mob Psycho it was. Before people come after me, I have watched Demon Slayer. It is dumb.
Yes. Demon Slayer sucks.
Every time I ask people, what do you like about Demon Slayer? That is what they tell me. Without a doubt, like every single time. They go, oh, I just really like the animation, the way it looks.
But there's
like
other animation that is like beautiful too. Like
I know, yeah.
It's just like people who are like, oh, well, I really like this game because the art is nice. And it's like, there's plenty of games with nice art that don't suck. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, yeah, okay, so like what are we saying about the story, characters? Like what are we cooking with here? And they got nothing for me.
Worst like, protagonist ever. And that's we're talking about anime here.
You've seen Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Can't take it back. All right. To nobody's surprise, my top TV is JoJo Part 5.
Oh my God.
Golden Wind. Best show where a protagonist drinks a cup of pee. Best show where two very heterosexual men grope each other to imbue bullets with the power of a stag beetle.
Uh-huh.
I really like Part 5. I don't think it has great character development, but I do think it has like some insane moments and just really, really fun fights.
Yeah, that's undoubtedly true. Also, The Boys, talking about live action.
Oh, yeah, The Boys.
Season 2 came out that year.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, that was season 5, apparently. That is a great series. Another one I have not finished. Would love to watch TV someday.
Yeah, it'd be cool to watch TV again. All right, we're in our final section here. We're going to keep this real short because this is the illegal section of 2020.
Warning.
Unstable
games.
This is predictions for 2025. What's going to stick around, what's going to drop off, and what's going to win an award. For what's going to stick around, I have Eternal Decks.
Ah, you bastard.
Is that what you picked?
Kinda.
I think it's a pretty hyped game. I've played it. It's pretty decent. It's definitely not like my usual go-to, but even for me, I was like, this is pretty cool. So yeah, Eternal Decks. Not to mention, it's totally getting a following after it was already out kind of thing. And so it's at least going to persist for the next couple of years, if not longer, because people are finally getting it in their hands kind of thing. It's like a word of mouth after the fact.
Without having played it, Eternal Decks, I could really see managing to stand out from this year, but I'm going to pick Fate of the Fellowship, which might be a really, really safe pick, admittedly, but it's like Pandemic plus Lord of the Rings. And I played it. It's thematic. It's pretty cool how it creates a sprawling world that feels very true to the series.
Yeah, that's a hella safe pick. Yeah, I don't live that way, Tom.
Yeah.
I live on the edge. Things falling off. Vantage. That's my take for 2025.
Oh, easily. I got a really hot take for you.
Okay.
Vantage is going to drop like a stone in the history books, and it's going to get a Golden Geek Award.
It's going to do both?
Yeah, like it's going to get like most innovation or some shit. And then it's like also like no one actually played it and it'll just disappear.
Okay, so it's your pick for both?
Years.
Getting an award and dropping off? You might be onto something, honestly.
Like, I don't think it's going to get Game of the Year if that's what you're trying to ask me to predict. I'm just saying it will get a Golden Geek Award, like at least one.
Yeah, like it's not going to get Kenner Spiel, but it'll get a Golden Geek, like best something game. Yeah.
Oh my God. If it gets Kenner Spiel, like
it's not
all trust I have in the Jarez, like prize will dissipate.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a spicy take, but it sounds like yours is like, that plus.
+2.
I just think it's already so polarizing, and the people who are enjoying it, like they're going to stop enjoying it at some point. It's not one that you like revisit years and years later kind of thing. I think the concept is really interesting. I haven't played it, but I can't see it sticking around. I just don't understand
how it has any staying power when like they keep re-releasing Skyrim. Like you can just still go play Skyrim. I get that they're totally different games, but like Vantage is like an open world choose your own adventure type shit.
I just don't get how people would play this when this other thing is out. I get that they're totally different games, but
I don't understand how. Let me clarify. I don't understand how Vantage has any staying power when it's just like it's trying to emulate video games, and as far as I understand, it's not doing anything better than what video games be doing.
I mean, I think it's doing some unique stuff for the medium, but that's just me.
I could see its role as a stepping stone for a true watershed moment in a different, you know what I mean? Like it's not the game that we wanted, but it's the game we deserved. And then like a couple years later, like someone uses the systems to give us something that actually kind of fulfills the promises that we were made. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, didn't Seventh Continent already do this? And then Sleeping Gods? Like, I think people are a little overglazing what Vantage is doing. For me, it's less of a critical analysis of its merit. I think it seems like a perfectly interesting game. It's more just like, I don't see it having the staying power.
Yeah.
So that's your award. I played it really safe with the award, so who am I to judge you for Fate of the Fellowship? I just said Hot Streak because I always give the award category to a CMYK game.
Oh, you chose that one and not Magical Athlete?
Yeah. I think Hot Streak is way more likely than Magical Athlete.
I think you're wrong.
Did you play Hot Streak?
No, but neither did anyone else.
No, Hot Streak is no, Tom, again, like you're so wrong sometimes. This is like one of the most glazed games of the year.
Tell us in the comments, did you play Hot Streak or Magical Athlete? Which one?
Tom, you're so cooked.
We already know.
Like consume some board game media, please.
Yeah, I should probably pay more attention.
Holy shit, Tom. Anyway, Hot Streak is my pick. Maybe SDJ, maybe Golden Geek. I don't know. It's going to win something in one of those. I don't think Magical Athlete will be nominated for something on Golden Geek.
I'm super curious to try out Galactic Cruise. It seems wild that it's as highly ranked as it is when I know almost nothing about it, and that's probably just me.
People describe it as a Lacerda without the bad stuff.
The bad stuff?
Yeah, because it's got the Ian O'Toole art. It's got the Eagle Griffin Games production. It's a very heady, lots of working pieces and intricacies, but it feels very focused is what people say. And again, it's not a Lacerda game, but it feels like a Lacerda game.
I just love the implication that like Lacerda, that he's like a genius with one fatal flaw.
Yeah, even people who don't like it, they like respect a lot of what he does, but I think it's just too chaotic and it's too in the systems sometimes for them.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Galactic Cruise, what I've heard is that it makes away with some of that. So,
all right. Well, it sounds like for me, it's shaping up for 2026 to be the year of Lacerda. I think I need to get more Lacerda experience under my belt.
Sounds good. Amongst other games that you're definitely going to play.
Yes.
Well, that was our predictions.
Those are some good predictions. I think we made some really topical, like in touch, on the pulse predictions and claims about board games today. You want to lead us out? I think that's going to do it for this week's episode, y'all. Thanks so much for listening all year long. In fact, if you made it this far, truly, we couldn't be here without you. We appreciate all the support that we've gotten from our fans. We really do want to say thank you for continuing with us on this journey, and we're looking forward to where things go in the future. I want to say thank you to Bonehouse for letting us use your song Rot as our opening theme. And no thanks to Michael, Tyler, Devon, and Josh, the Boise RainBeaus, because we didn't use your music this week. If you're loving the cast, share with a friend on Reddit, on BGG. You can also reach out directly at shelfstablecast@gmail.com. Subject line, Tom is wrong. And then a colon, whatever he was wrong about. All of this and more will be available in the show notes. If you like what we're doing and want to make more of it happen, consider subscribing to us on Patreon. You'll get access to bonus content and Discord. Next week, Tom. Next week, we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions, what we're planning to do in board game world next year, and revisit the pantry. What are we keeping on the shelf? What are we adding to the shelf? It's going to be a fun discussion. Tune in next year. Whoa.